Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on certain yogas and certain doubts of yours which I keep on coming across on the comment section. So guys, to begin with, first of all, thanks a lot for your participation in the recent post which I put on my YouTube channel, where I asked about the upcoming workshop ideas which I've been thinking about. So it's just like that, in this upcoming year, I'm actually thinking about quitting my other engagements, other part-time jobs, and full-time focusing on astrology only, so which gives me ample of time to start conducting workshops as well. And most likely now I will be very much active on replying to all the comments on my videos as well. So definitely guys, I will be now very soon basis the outcome of the poll. So a lot many people are interested in astrology, so I will be conducting a workshop to begin with. First, a very beginner level astrology workshop which will be done in 2 days. Now you must be getting surprised, how can someone teach astrology in just 2 days? My other astrologers, fellow astrologers from the community are gonna ban me listening to this. So no, it's not like that. All those people who do not have much of the knowledge of astrology, I keep on coming across all those consultations where people want to know about the transit, but they specifically mention this thing that I do not have much knowledge of astrology, so please do not use the core astrology terms. So this 2-day workshop is going to be targeted to all those people only who do not have much of the foundation or base of astrology. And just in 2 days, almost total of 8 hours of workshop, you can get to know about the basic familiarity with the important tools of astrology. We talk about houses, zodiac signs, nakshatras, ashtak varga. So that will be my responsibility, how to make you guys familiar. So just because guys I posted this poll, and that gave me this opportunity to go through all the other comments as well. So because of which I picked up few of the repetitive questions which keep on coming on my YouTube videos, and thought of having a discussion on them. So guys, the first question which we will discuss today is of a lot many people remain confused about the importance of the ascendant chart and the moon chart. So as you know that even today a lot many Vedic astrologers, they only give emphasis only to the moon chart. Like a lot many astrologers who put the weekly transit results, monthly predictions, they only do it on the basis of the moon sign. So what is the importance of the moon sign? So let's try to understand it with this basic reference chart. So guys, as you can see over here in this chart, a case study. This is a chart of a person who has got the Gemini Lagna. Rahu is placed over there in the first house. Ketu and Saturn is placed in the 7th house. And Mercury is there in the 10th house. So we will only focus on this native's prospects of marriage and career. So what do you get to know just prima facie looking at the chart on a very first sight? So definitely when we talk about the concerns of the relationship, you will look at the 7th house. You will find 2 heavy karmic planets being placed over there. Now Ketu is placed over there. Although that is a different case, it is well dignified, but it is conjunct with Saturn as well. Some sort of karmic debt or burden native is gonna experience over there. And if you talk about the prospects of the profession, specifically what exactly is happening at the professional sphere of this person, now you will find that Mercury is debilitated over there in the 10th house. Let's not now take into consideration where the 10th house lord has gone. Just the 10th house is giving us this insight that Mercury is debilitated over there. So person might not be very good in multitasking or managing his affairs at his professional front. So guys, this is the kind of picture which we get to know from the Lagna. I always mention this thing that from the Lagna chart we actually get to know about the actual functioning of our life. Now this chart gives us this insight that at his professional front, definitely this native is gonna struggle in the arena of how to multitask things, how to manage people, how to bridge the gaps between different departments. And the prospects of marriage we have already discussed. Now I always say this thing, that when we study a chart from the moon sign, we get to know that no matter if native is gonna have a karmic burden in the matters of his matrimonial life, but how his subconscious will experience that. Same way, native might have some sort of issues in how to manage his like affairs at his work front, but whether native is gonna surrender to that, or native is gonna work hard with a strong determination even in the middle of all these chaos at his work front. So for that we have to see the same chart from the moon sign. That is the only reason, guys, that when we talk about the concerns of the Sadesati, why we give attention to, or why we study the transit of Saturn only from the moon sign, because another aspect of the studying a chart from the moon sign is that you get to know about the kind of accumulated karma which is in store with you. That is the only reason, if you go to the southern part of India or even in the northern part, if you want to get any of the planetary appeasing ritual or puja done, the priest over there will only ask what is your moon nakshatra, because your moon nakshatra and the god connected with that nakshatra is something which we have to appease to bless you with prosperity in the life. Now guys, looking at the same chart, now let's try to study the same chart from the moon sign. So all what I did was I made the sign where moon is placed and I rotated the chart, and now we will study the chart from the moon chart or the moon ascendant. So friends, as you can see that first if we will look at the 7th house. So in the main ascendant chart, 7th house was showing us too many afflictions, too many karmic retribution which native might have to face. But how native will subconsciously experience that, or how he will see that, how he will behave in the middle of that chaotic relationship is, as you can see that Jupiter is guarding the 7th house, or Jupiter is well placed over there. So that in itself means that even in the middle of all this chaos, native is going to be very optimistic and he will have a strong faith that he can reverse things in his favor. And guys, even if we will look at the 10th house, so from the main Lagan chart we get to know that definitely in the 10th house, like Mercury is debilitated, native might not be able to manage things well. But even irrespective of how bad he is performing, how he is being bullied by his bosses, native is still going to demonstrate strong determination, willpower to keep going ahead, keep on improving all of his shortcomings and showcasing that authority or that sort of confidence that I can still manage things, I can handle things. So that is something which we get to know only if you will study the same chart from the Lagan or from the moon sign. Now guys, the second question which I keep on coming across is the chart of twins. So on this concept as well, different astrologers have got different opinion. Like many astrologers say that definitely we have seen many cases where twins who are born just in the gap of 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and their life has taken completely different turn. One person is very much settled in his family life, he has got no addiction, no issues with the law, and the same other twin brother has his marriage completely afflicted, he is not settled in any sphere of his life. So just with the difference of 5 minutes, how can there be so stark difference in the life of two people? And you being an astrologer, how you will map that, how you will study that? So guys, many astrologers say that all what you have to do is that the chart from the chart of the elder son, what you will do is that you just go to the third house, because obviously the younger sibling we generally see from the third house, and you rotate the chart and then study the chart of the twin. So what you did was that whatsoever lagna you got from the elder child's birth time, for the younger son, because there is just a difference of 2 minutes, 5 minutes, you just have to make the third house as the lagna and then you have to study the chart. But over there as well guys, many astrologers have found discrepancies, or they were not able to come to a concrete solution, like mapping up the life of both the twins in an accurate way. So what I advise and I will recommend is that if you will only be following the Vedic or the Parashari Jyotish, looking at the D60 chart or the Shashtyamsha chart can give you very deeper insight, because obviously in the Lagan chart is not gonna show any variation, even the Navamsa chart as well, Nakshatra as well. But yes, if you will go in depth to the D60 chart, over there you can find some variation in the chart of the younger twin. Second thing is that, guys, I always say this thing: the more tools you have in your arsenal, the better you can do astrology. So if you will follow the concept of the KP astrology, and even in the KP astrology, if you will see the sub lord, I have also made a video on the KP astrology as well. It was just a brief introduction video. I will continue that playlist. So sub lord can actually give you very deeper insight, because this is what the beauty of the like Chalit Kundali or the KP chart is, that just with the variation of 2 minutes or 3 minutes, you will see that the house cusp sub lord is gonna go through transition. Like I will show you this very simple example. So now, guys, as you can see, I have this reference chart open in front of me. So okay, let's open this chart. So now, guys, as you can see in this chart, the birth time, I'm so sorry for the volume. Yeah, so in this chart, guys, basis the birth time and all, you will see that this is what the KP chart is right now in your screen. And all what you have to do is that in the same app, just go to the cusp, and over here this SB stands for the sublord. So for all the houses, house cusp sublord, you can see that for the first house, the sign lord is the planet Mars, because it is the Aries sign. Nakshatra lord is Ketu. It must be like Ashwini, but we have to focus more on the sub lord. So as you can see that for all the houses, house cusp, there is a sub lord which has been mentioned over there. Now, guys, all what you have to do is that in the same details, all what I did was I just changed the time. Okay, wait, I'll do it. Yeah, so all what I did, that I just increased the time with 4 minutes, just with the 4 minutes. And now if you will see the Lagan chart, the KP chart, like the KP chart is also same, but if we will go to the sub lot, they will change. So that can also give you insight, that if you come across any of the situation of working with the chart of the twins from the Vedic or Parashari, looking at the D60 chart, and from the KP chart, KP system, specifically looking at the sub lord, can give you deeper insight that how the life can take a turn in the case of the twins. Now, guys, the third question which I keep on coming across is determining the time of birth for a newborn baby, because these days we have this provision of a cesarean birth, and like I'm not saying that people are gonna deliberately do that, but in certain cases even the doctors give this provision that delivery can be done in between these couple of days, and the time and the day selection is being left on the parents. And in those kind of cases, people approach astrologers. So being an astrologer, what could be your duty, or what could be your role? Because over in this situation as well, the astrology community is divided. There are those astrologers who do not find it anything wrong in determining the time of birth for about to be born baby, and some says that it is against the law of the nature should take its own course, and parents should not interfere with the time of the birth. So, guys, over here, honestly speaking, I personally feel that in India we still have that Guru Shishya Parampara. So I would say that not only the influence of or the knowledge of astrology is sufficient enough for someone to guide these parents, like being an astrologer, if someone is gonna approach me, so just the knowledge of astrology is not enough. If you actually want to get the best of the guidance and the omens to help you, or nature to work in your favor, I would say that either going to someone who is of that elevated spiritual stature, like a guru. If you have a guru in your life, the blessing or guidance of a guru, so either asking them, consulting them, or going to an astrologer who knows astrology, but he does it in a very righteous, very spiritual way. So that person might be the right person to seek guidance. This is equally applicable for everyone, because these days astrology is same like accountancy or mathematics. It is a science of calculation primarily. So there are lot many astrologers in the community who are doing it in a very new age way. Some of the astrologers I see even drinking and like a lot many things which is not advisable in a right conduct way as per mentioned in our shastras or scriptures. So I will not recommend going to someone with that kind of approach with these holy sciences for this sort of important question. And if I were to say, even I do not find myself eligible, that I don't see myself as pure to guide someone on this certain like sensitive and important concern. So yes, even the couple of times people have approached me on this and I did not take that call or take that consultation. So it's all left on you. I will look forward to your inputs. What do you think about this, that going to an astrologer for determining the time of the birth and scheduling the delivery accordingly, is it fine as per you or not? So that I will leave open for the community to decide or give their suggestions. Next question is, guys, a lot many times people ask me about the Khalsap Yoga. So I want to say this thing over here very clearly, because even in my own chart I have Khalsap Yoga. So definitely the definition of Khalsap Yoga is that when all the planets come in the axis of Rahu and Ketu, that gives rise to the Khalsap Yoga. Now the authenticity of this yoga is also questionable, because in our scriptures, in the shastras, there has been no mention of the Khalsap Yoga. The only way I find this yoga to be causing difficulty for someone, or in any way if I were to say that I can actually trust the credibility of this yoga, or I say that this Khalsap Yoga has got some karmic binding attached to it in this chart, in the chart of this soul of this person, is your moon has to be in the influence of Rahu-Ketu. So let's say, for example, if you have all the planets in the axis of Rahu-Ketu, but moon is not attached or getting straight away influenced directly by the influence of Rahu and Ketu, then it is not gonna cause any impact, any effect in the life of the native. So the point which I am trying to say over here is that not only all the planets have to be in the axis of Rahu and Ketu, but also either moon has to be conjunct with Rahu or Ketu, or moon has to be in the nakshatra of Rahu or Ketu. Then you can say that whatsoever way it has been mentioned by the modern day astrologers in their work, in all the portals, in all the books, as the typical archetype results of the Khalsap Yoga, only then it is gonna get manifested or native will experience that. But if your moon is not coming directly in the influence of Rahu and Ketu, either in the form of being conjunct with them or not being placed in their nakshatra, then I have seen that people do not get majorly affected because of this yoga. Now guys, people also talk about the stark difference between a planet coming in the influence of Rahu and Ketu. Now whether in the natal chart or whether in the transit, like we know that Rahu is right now transiting in the Aries, Ketu in the Libra. So if you have your important planets in the Aries or in the Libra, so that means Rahu and Ketu are transiting over it. So how to decode it or how to judge it? So guys, that's very simple. Rahu is a very outwardly manifesting energy, and Ketu is a very inward force. Rahu has everything to do with the materialism, Ketu has everything to do with the spirituality. But the stark difference is, or the essence of these two planetary vibration is that as per our ancient scriptures, like there was this demon Swarbhanu whose head part became the Rahu and the rest of the body became the Ketu. So that means all the intelligence, all the malice is with the Rahu, and all the heartbeat and adhyatma and the knowledge of the soul is with the Ketu. So what has been generally seen, that whichsoever planet Rahu is going to be influencing in your natal chart, Rahu act as, or Rahu try to become the head or brain of that planet. So it all comes down to the dignity of the dispositor of the Rahu and in which sign Rahu is placed, and it's influencing that specific planet, because accordingly Rahu will try to take control or govern or become the brain or guiding factor of that planet. So now, as you know, that Mercury, which tells about your communication, or Mercury which also tells about your business tactics. So if Rahu is afflicted, like example, your Mercury is already placed in Scorpio and Rahu is gonna transit over it, or your Rahu and Mercury are conjunct and they are in the Scorpio, so that means that this Mercury is already in a questionable state and Rahu is definitely misguiding it. And let's say, for example, if you have your Mercury to be placed in the Gemini and Rahu is gonna transit over it, so definitely it can make you very street smart, it can make you very opportunistic, and you can actually gain in that time period when Rahu is going to be transiting over it. Now guys, when we talk about from the Ketu's perspective, so see, Ketu is like the voice of your soul. So Ketu hold this potential to give a complete soul level transformation to the signification of that planet. Like guys, that's very simple. When we talk about the material attributes of Mercury, which could be a business aspect of it, but when we talk about the true soul qualities of Mercury, essence of Mercury, which might has to do with your communication, with your self-expression, so Ketu can actually distort the true qualities of the Mercury, but Rahu can only distort it on a surface level. So same way, if we will take the case of the planet Jupiter, so the influence of Rahu can actually make you very much prone towards the wrong advices, but Ketu holds this key to actually completely transform your approach or the way you receive wisdom, or the complete transformation in the way luck supports you in your life. So this is how Rahu try to act and become the brain of the planet, the guiding factor, and Ketu hold this potential to completely give a soul level transformation to the qualities of the planet it comes in contact with, whether in your natal chart this conjunction is taking place, or whether it is taking place in the transit. Now guys, a lot many people asked me about the concerns of the public image, because see, if I were to share my own chart, so I have a Capricorn sun, Saturn is transiting over it, and even in the Dasha as well, I am in the Saturn and Sun cycle. So imagine how strongly my Saturn and Sun combination is taking place right now. So on this note only, a lot many people were asking me, I uploaded a couple of videos on the transit of Saturn as well, and a lot many people were asking me that how to see that Saturn is gonna affect your public image, because definitely when we talk about defamation, controversy, scandal, punishment, Saturn also hold a key to give you all of that as well. Like Saturn is the harshest of the planet, which can actually completely ruin someone's name as well, but that is a different case when it comes or it becomes benefic in someone's life. It is hard bent in giving you good results. It can actually make you a symbol of respect or honor in the society as well. But guys, for that I would say studying the chart and the transit of Saturn from your Arudha Lagan becomes very important. So now Arudha Lagan is a very simple concept. You can search in my playlist as well. I have definitely made a video on Arudha Lagan in my this English channel as well. So Arudha Lagan is like a shadow image of your Lagan, of your ascendant, of your life. So the concept to decode it or calculate it is very simple. Wheresoever your ascendant lord is placed in the chart, you have to go the same many places from that house, and that sign will become your Arudha Lagan. So make that your ascendant and now study the chart. So in my case, I'm a Aries Lagna. My ascendant lord Mars is in the 8th house. So that means from the 8th house we have to go 8 places again ahead of it. So we will reach the Gemini. So Gemini is my Arudha Lagan. So that means from the if I have to study the transit of the Saturn, so that means specifically pertaining to the matters of the public image, you have to see where Saturn is transiting from your Arudha Lagna, and what kind of yogas you have in your chart, what kind of actions you perform in the society, and that will determine the way planets are gonna, specifically the slow moving planets, and over and above that Saturn, is it in a state to malign your public image or not. So for that I will give more points to studying the transit of Saturn from your Arudha Lagna. Now guys, one last question we will take for today. The video is already very long. So couple of people asked me about the retrograde planets as well, because I recently uploaded this video on the retrograde results of the planet Jupiter. Like now it is coming out of the retrograde motion, it is now coming back to the direct motion very soon. So guys, that's very simple. Definitely retrograde planet gains more cheshta bal. It is more closer to the earth, so that means planet is more potent, more powerful. Now again I say the same thing, it's not very complicated. A lot many people they attach philosophy in it, they attach karmic, past life regression, so many conspiracy theories on it. It's very simple. A retrograde planet is strong, so that means if you have a Jupiter in Cancer, exalted Jupiter, and it is retrograde as well, so that means it is more powerful. And if you have a Capricorn Jupiter and it is retrograde, so that means it is very weak. You need to do remedies to strengthen it. Now guys, the only concern is that, like the way I talked about the example of a benefic planet, like natural benefic, for your Lagna it might be functional malefic as well, but simply put, a retrograde planet gives more thrust and power to the energies of the planet. Now when we talk about in the case of the malefic planet, then in those cases it becomes very important to study the if a planet is retrograde. Like for example, if you have Saturn retrograde and in your case you are a Taurus Lagna person, so in your case Saturn becomes your very important Yoga-Karaka planet. So Saturn is, for example, placed in your 12th house, so that means it is debilitated. It is debilitated in a very vulnerable house, in the 12th house, and over and above that it is retrograde as well. So that means it's a very heavy karmic burden which you have to go through, and you have to do the remedies for that. So that is how we judge. Now for example, if for the same person, if Saturn is placed in your 6th house, it is exalted for a Taurus Lagna and it is retrograde, so that will give more thrust, more power to the energies of that planet. So yes guys, this is something which I wanted to share as a part of some of the questions which keep on getting repeated in my comment section, and very soon I will be looking forward to lot many participation for this upcoming workshop, and I will try to be regular with answering the questions asked on the comment section of my video as well. So thanks a lot guys, and for further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyavad.